This is an RPG-A-Day response for the year 2017. Well, RPG-A-Day for 2017 is moving along at an impressive clip. We're about to enter. This question takes us into the 4th week. And August, having its 31 days, we'll actually enter a 5th week, but not get too far. But anyway, this 4th week, the last full week of RPG-A-Day, starts with this question. Which RPGs are easier or easiest for you to run? I'm kind of curious what people will do with this question, but when I think of this question, the first thing that comes to mind is that through practice comes greater skill, and this sense of familiarity, this sense of comfort with a game tends to make people think that it's the easiest for them. Well, I could do that with, insert favorite or most commonly played game here. But does that actually make the game, does that actually tell us that that game is easier to run? And I don't want to get into it. I was going to, but then I changed my mind. But what I do want to do is say, well, for me, if I were to strip that familiar sense away from a game and look at what the game asks me to do, then my answer is just a little bit different. You see, the game system that I've liked and enjoyed running the longest would be the D100 games. So, Call of Cthulhu, for example. This is a game I can just run. Modifiers, situations, issues, challenges, doesn't matter. This game just seems to be a part of me. There are other games that have come close over the years, but, keep moving forward with D100 in that same period of time, and it remains a significant part of how I view mechanics at all. But if we take that away and look at what D100 asked me to do compared to what Ubiquity asked me to do, then there is a slight difference there. The die pool Ubiquity system compared to the D100 system with its percentage dice and its other dice as needed, what this asks of the Game Master is different. In Ubiquity, the die pool will be rolled against no target number, or anyway, you're looking for successes and failures, and you count up the number of successes and failures. This will always be true. You'll always use the same dice. You will always apply modifiers the same way, and on it goes. Opposed rolls being the primary feature of how the system works with interactions in play. Compare this to D100, where you may need to roll to hit, and then sometimes characters have the ability to dodge or not, or dodge a number of times or not. Damage is rolled. Damage rolls have modifiers, etc., etc. D100 can be modified in a variety of different ways. It's open to a variety of different dice. These may be employed by different games in completely different ways, and on and on. There's a lot I have to remember and add on and subtract and change when I look at D100 compared to something like Ubiquity. And that's really, once I reach this point in my logic chain, this is where things become apparent. See, for me, I feel that the easiest games for me to run are modern dice pool games, arising in the same lineage of games where we'll find Storyteller, Shadowrun, Unisystem, and, as I've been saying, Ubiquity. Now, these types of die pool games are different from what you would see in Star Wars D6, for example. It's not a roll and total game. It's a roll a pool of dice and do a visual check to see which ones have met or exceeded a target number, or which ones count as success and which ones count as failures, this sort of thing. Any system that's built around that concept tends to be more consistent throughout. Not all are, but they tend to approach task resolution with an eye toward a coherent and consistent application of the same concept. Not saying that it makes everything the same, but the procedure or the outlook is predictable. And once you've run the game once or twice, you're like, okay, I know what to expect. And if I look up what this new situation is in the rules, I'm probably going to find, you know, it's plus 2 dice or minus 2 dice or plus 4 dice or minus 4 dice or something like that. Something predictable. And it helps you get into the mindset of running that game faster than something where there are a variety of tools for randomization and a variety of tools for resolution. And each successive author or each particular situation may have encouraged someone to define a rule independent of other rules. So while I find D100 games to be normal and to not give me any trouble at all, when I look at them from one step removed, I have to recognize that these are all things that I learned over a long period of time, and they have become second nature. But the games I'm playing as often now, things like Fantasy Flight Games Star Wars or the Ubiquity games, I'll reach that same level of comfort and familiarity much faster because the games themselves, their inner workings are far more transparent and consistent. Now, does that mean I think that one of these is better? No, this question isn't about what's better. This question is about the amount of resources, really, that you have to pour into making the game happen. Which systems are easier for you to run? Which ones will you therefore, kind of like water, flow toward in order to make your games happen? Are your game choices predicated on the strength of the system or your enjoyment of the mechanics, or simply based on ease? That's really what this question is about. So I have my favorite systems, just like you do, and I have my desire to learn and play new games and checking out new systems, and the ones that I consistently find to be easier are these, either ones that I've been playing all along or ones that follow this dice pool mechanic. How about you? Tomorrow's question asks us to describe what layout we prefer and why. What is the most jaw-dropping layout you've ever seen in an RPG? You define jaw-dropping and you describe the layout. See you tomorrow.